you see how Jon Stewart single-handedly?
Tucker Carlson?
Well, Tucker, what's that fucking weasel's name? Ted Cruz. They passed the PACT bill.
Yeah.
Or the bill to help veterans with the burn pits.
Sure.
And how the Republicans lied and said there was a bunch of shit that Democrats are putting on there. It wasn't true.
There's always fluff. There is fluff in it, but
there's not.
You get every fucking bill that each side passes. There's something in it. I mean,
right, but there wasn't anything added since they all agree. So they all agreed to vote for it because it's our fault. The burn pits are our fault. If you're unfamiliar with the concept of the burn pits in the fucking war in Iraq and Afghanistan, all the trash, building materials, tires, cars, like all the stuff,
human waste.
That's produced by war. We would just throw into these huge pits and burn them. And they caused absolute damage to everyone around them. They caused cancer. I mean, this is toxic. And we had soldiers that were around them that were utterly exposed to them for years. And now we see tons of veterans dying from the burn pits, as well as the locals. I mean, we just fucking trash wherever we go. We shit where we eat and we shit where everyone else eats. And then, so there was a bill called the PACT bill, I believe, or the full name, I'd have to look it up, where it was basically funding to ensure that our veterans got the proper medical care they needed, the end of life care, all that stuff. And out of nowhere, the Republicans decided to vote against it. And then Jon Stewart seemingly single-handedly swooped in and just put so much pressure on the GOP that they then went back a few days later and voted for it. So have you ever seen when Jon Stewart gave his now infamous speech to Congress about the 9/11 responder bill?
Yes.
Honestly, dude, Jon Stewart for Emperor of the Universe. Whether you agree or disagree with his politics, we've seen that you can be just some famous person and become president. That's the trend we're going to go down. Let's at least take somebody who has some morals. Like if Jon Stewart were like put up, I would vote for him easily. I think he'd make a great president.
Well, I think that he's definitely using his platform for good.
Right.
I mean, he's used any influence he has not been directed wrongly. He is fucking slaying people, man. It's great.
He uses what they call the bully pulpit, which is something that Bush Jr. was really good at, even if it was for the wrong reasons, which is just making a plea to people. Like if you're a president and you want to get something done, this is why I thought Obama sucked in a lot of ways. He just would try to bargain with everybody and just hope that people of both sides of the aisle, instead of like going out to the people and saying, here's what's happening. Here's the people standing in its way. Here's the states. Here's how we vote them out. This needs to be done. Here's why. And just hammer through everybody and get it done.
Yeah.
And Obama didn't do that. That's why he could have been so much of a better president. Stewart is so good at these speeches, so good at getting people on the left and the right mobilized under a cause. I mean, there's people that have been saying like, why not? We had Trump. Let anybody run. Like, if he ran, I would fucking canvass for the dude, honestly. So this is after the conservatives have voted down the PACT Act.
So ain't this a bitch?
Yeah. Yep.
Ain't this a bitch?
Yep.
America's heroes who fought in our wars, outside sweating their asses off, with oxygen, battling all kinds of ailments, while these motherfuckers sit in the air conditioning, walled off from any of it. They don't have to hear it. They don't have to see it. They don't have to understand that these are human beings. Do you get it yet? Do we see that these aren't heroes? These are men and women, mothers and fathers, sisters and brothers that we just let stand outside in the heat when they can't breathe. I'm going to read you something. This is beautiful. I'm going to read you something beautiful. You know what? I said a curse word and I'm sorry about that. That was my fault. Let me say something beautiful. This is a tweet from Senator Rick Scott of Florida from yesterday. It's beautiful. And I'm sorry about the cursing, and let me say something beautiful to make it up to you. I was honored to join the USO today and make care packages for our brave military members in gratitude. In gratitude. of their sacrifice and service to our nation. And there's a beautiful picture. I wish you could see it. He's standing with a little package. Did you get the package? It's I think it has M&Ms in it and some cookies and some moist towelettes. I don't even know, honestly, I don't even know what to say. I've been coming down here 10, 15 years. I'm used to the hypocrisy. Christina Keene will tell you from VFW. She sat in an office with Mitch McConnell and a war veteran from Kentucky, and he looked that man in the eyes and he said, we'll get it done. And he lied to him. Because Mitch McConnell yesterday flipped. I'm used to the lies. I'm used to the hypocrisy. Senator Pat Toomey won't take a meeting with the veterans groups. Sends out his chief of staff. I'm used to the cowardice. I've been here a long time. Senate's where accountability goes to die. These people don't care. They're never losing their jobs. They're never losing their health care. Pat Toomey didn't lose his job. He's walking away. God knows what kind of pot of gold he's stepping into to lobby this government to shit on more people. I'm used to all of it, but I am not used to the cruelty. They passed it. June 16th, they passed the PACT Act. 84-14. You don't even see those scores in the Senate anymore. They passed it. Every one of these individuals that has been fighting for years, standing on the shoulders of Vietnam veterans who have been fighting for years, standing on the shoulders of Persian Gulf War veterans fighting for years, Desert Storm veterans, to just get the health care and benefits that they earned from their service. And I don't care if they were fighting for our freedom. I don't care if they were fighting for the flag. I don't care if they were fighting because they wanted to get out of a drug treatment center or it was jail or the army. I don't give a shit. They lived up to their oath. And yesterday, they spit on it in abject cruelty. These people thought they could finally breathe. You think their struggles end because the PACT Act passes? All it means is they don't have to decide between their cancer drugs and their house. Their struggle continues.
This bill does a lot more than just give us health care.
Gives them health care, gives them benefits, lets them live.
Keeps veterans from going homeless, keeps veterans from becoming addicts, keeps veterans from committing suicide.
Senator Toomey's not going to hear that because he won't sit down with this man. Because he is a fucking coward. You hear me? A coward. And like I say, I'm used to it. But this type of cruelty on those that we say we hold up as our most valued Americans, then what are we? Pat Toomey stood up there, Patriot Pat Toomey, excuse me, I'm sorry. I want to give him his propers. I want to make sure that I give him his propers. Patriot Pat Toomey stood on the floor and said, this is a slush fund. They're going to use $400 billion to spend on whatever they want. That's nonsense. I call bullshit. This isn't a slush fund. You know what's a slush fund? The OCO, the Overseas Contingency Operations Fund, $60 billion, $70 billion every year on top of $500 billion, $600 billion, $700 billion of a defense budget. That's a slush fund, unaccountable, no guardrails. Did Pat Toomey stand up and say, this is irresponsible, the guardrails? No, not one of them did. They vote for it year after year after year. You don't support the troops, you support the war machine. That's all you care about.
He personally signed the proclamation to send me to war.
Boy, they haven't met a war they won't sign up for, and they haven't met a veteran they won't screw over. What the fuck are we?
Barbaric. It's barbaric.
And now they're going to go away. Pat Toomey says, I've got veterans groups behind me. I call bullshit. These are the veterans groups. VFW, American Legion, IAVA, Wounded Warriors, DAV, AMVETS. They're all here. This is the veterans community, Senator. They don't stand behind you. In fact, you won't let them stand in front of you. Cowards, all of them. Cowards, all of them. And now they say, well, this will get done maybe on the after we get back from our summer recess, maybe during the lame duck, because they're on Senate time. Do you understand? You live around here. Senate time is ridiculous. These motherfuckers live to 200. They're tortoises. They live forever, and they never lose their jobs, and they never lose their benefits, and they never lose all those things. Well, they're not on Senate time. They're on human time, cancer time. Don't you have families? Don't you have people who are deciding how to live their last moments? I know some of them. They've been down here advocating with us. They spent their remaining time advocating so that other soldiers didn't have to face the indignities and the depravity and the desperation that they faced. And none of them will hear it. And none of them care. Except to tweet. Boy, they'll tweet it. Can't wait to see what they come up with on Veterans Day, on Memorial Day. Well, this is the reality of it. I honestly don't even know what to say anymore, but we need your help because we're not leaving. These people cannot go away. I don't know if you know this. You know, obviously I'm not a military expert. I didn't serve in the military, but from what I understand, you're not allowed to just leave your post when the mission isn't completed. Apparently you take an oath. You swear an oath, and you can't leave. But these folks can leave because they're on Senate time. Go ahead, go home, spend time with your families, because these people can't do it anymore. So they can't leave until this gets done. Because these people will not give up, they will not give in, and they will not relent. This is an embarrassment to the Senate, to the country, to the founders, and all that they profess to hold dear. And if this is America first, then America is fucked.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. So it's
I
like
didn't see that.
yeah,
I thought
it
I
was
did.
awesome. And that shit, the pressure he brought got it done. They then went back, reconvened,
Thought I saw that.
and
Man,
voted.
that's incredible.
Yeah. They went back and they voted to pass the PACT Act, which is just like basic healthcare protections for veterans, which they should all have anyway.
Yeah. Why is this something that even has to be passed? It should be by default, man.
I don't know enough, honestly. I'm going to profess ignorance here. I don't know enough why. I think it's because it's extra protections for people specific to the Afghanistan wars because of the piles, the burn pits. So I'm not going to pretend like I know it. But my point is that, like, that's someone we need to be president. Somebody like that. Like, where is that? Because we went from an orange child to a fucking reanimated zombie.
Yeah.
Imagine if Biden gave that speech right now, swears and all. That person would become the most beloved president. Not against the people who disagreed, but who, you know, if you look at the comments, nobody disagrees.
No,
like, literally,
no.
other than the insane right wing who just suck off the Republicans no matter what they do, everybody's left or right. It was the same thing with the First Responders Act when he gave that speech in Congress or Senate, whichever it was.
I remember that.
Yeah.
That one.
Right. Like, that dude
We need someone that
brings
will
heat and gets
passion,
shit
man.
done. Right.
When he talks, you feel what he's saying. That's what leadership's about, man. When someone gets up and they have a point to make and they're passionate about it and you feel what they're saying,
Yeah.
like that's what we need.
Yeah.
We haven't had that in so long.
Yeah, Trump never gave a shit about the country.
No, man.
Biden, I think, does care more, but I don't think he's that competent anymore.
No, he's just too old.
Yeah. Again, I mean, Stewart said he
Too
would never run. I'd fucking canvas for him. Honestly, like, we need, even if it's not him, we need like somebody, not the choices we get. Yeah. If you haven't seen his speech to Congress/Senate about the 9/11 responders bill, it's probably one of the greatest like political speeches. And this is from a fucking a comedian.
Yeah.
One good thing Trump did is he showed that like you don't have to be a politician necessarily to get in. Now, we chose a loser. I mean, what a piece of shit. We need to stop limiting it to 80-year-old fucking rich people who've been in government their whole lives.
Yeah, we definitely don't need a career politician being
right.
in office.
Fresh eyes, man.
Biden defines what a career politician is.
Right.
I mean, since I was born, he's been a politician.
Yeah.
Like, fuck that, man.
Yeah, when you were born, he was fucking 150. Yeah, and he picked the worst VP ever. I haven't even heard anything about Kamala Harris because everybody hates her. She's so horrible. Yeah, they've literally like thrown her in a dungeon. But I'd be interested to see who we get in the next election. Like, my guess would be that they don't run Biden. I think Biden by then will be so obviously demented that
they can't.
Yeah, it's funny because I had people that would like defend like he just has a stutter.
Oh,
like,
yeah, he does have a stutter.
Yeah, but that's not when you watch him talk. He's not stuttering. His brain is stuttering. Like he's just old. It's okay to become old and lose your faculties. That happens to most of us. Yeah, he's 79 or something. He might be in his 80s. I don't remember.
Well, when I'm that old.
Yeah.
And you are talking to me, I'm going to sound also like a fuck stick.
You just shouldn't be the president.
Right. Like you might be able to trust me to, I don't know, pay the cable bill or something.
Right.
You wouldn't even want to trust me running the house if I'm that old.
No, and it's not even your fault. You didn't do anything wrong. Just you aged.
I'm just old, man.
Yeah, it's fine, but like maybe not in charge of the country.
I've had, 80 years of quarter pounder with cheeses and cheese conies and shit. And
I'll just rot in your stupid brain.
Yeah.
We need somebody under 60 years old. We need fresh eye. We need like somebody who isn't from the old world necessarily, if that makes sense. The old world of politics. And I've said it like 5 times already. I would back Jon Stewart in a second. Because I don't give a shit about having the money, having the experience. We need somebody who like just is like maybe even misguided, but like morally correct and willing to speak up and willing to do the right thing. But yeah, I don't know. I just thought that was cool. Like that speech, just the second one.
That's really cool.
That dude just fucking slays it.
That's really cool.
And he got it done. Like he put so much pressure. He did like, there's other things you can see in newsreels, like stuff that he's done, but he's been, since they first voted down the PACT Act, he's been like a fucking rabid dog. And they came back, and I think he single-handedly brought so much heat that like we have to vote or we're going to lose. Like this comedian's going to destroy us.
Good job, Jon Stewart.
Yeah, for sure.
Keep that shit up.
Yeah, that shit's awesome.
Yeah, God, that was great.